Good evening and welcome to this special video where I'll be speaking and showing you exactly how I managed to put 60 kilos or 135 pounds on my deadlift in just a very short space of time, which was 4 months. So I'll play two clips on the screen now. One is 140 kilos and so is the other one, but you'll notice something. The grip is different. This is the first thing I done to help improve my deadlift. Change grips. Doing double overhands can only go so far before your grip starts giving up, hence why people go to mixed grip, hook grip or use straps. I chose to go to mixed grip. As you can see, the two clips are about 1 to 2 weeks apart. I went from not being able to lift 140 kilos to be able to do 34 reps purely because of the grip. The grip change helped a lot. So if you're struggling, you're stagnating with double overhand deadlifting, switch to mix. Now I can't even do 140 kilos with double overhand now. I tried it a few weeks ago. I literally can't do it. So just use mixed, hook or straps. Accessories. When I watch a lot of YouTube tutorials, no one talks about accessories. Accessories help with your lifts. They have to be used for a reason. Accessories you can use are straps. If you choose to not do mixed grip, use straps if you want to keep a double overhand. Chalk and a good weightlifting belt. Chalk helps a lot with grip. The reason why chalk's used in so many trades around the world or with rock climbing, it helps with grip. That's why I use it. So just use chalk. Chalk's cheap. It's like £5-6 for a 200 gram bag on Amazon. Just buy it. Helps when the conditions are either hot or cold. Any condition, I use it on my heavier lifts. Works great. Belt as well. Get a good quality lifting belt. I personally have an SBD belt, which is probably the best belt you can buy in the market. 180 quid. It's a lot of money, but the quality is the best on the market. I don't think I'll need to buy a weightlifting belt again. £180, one-time investment. Trust me, you won't regret buying it. Helps keep your core nice and tight, and also your low back. Helps a lot. Just use it. Now let's get into what accessories I used. I used pause deadlifts for 16 weeks from starting the program. This was on my secondary deadlifting day. Paused help tremendously. A very good variation. How does it help? It sorts out your starting positioning. You get punished if your starting position is poor, and it helps with keeping everything tight. Your lower back, your legs, your glutes, everything tight, because you're at a stop paused. You're not dropping down or anything. When I started doing paused for the first 1 to 2 weeks, I was just getting used to this new variation I never done before. I never heard of paused deadlifts before. My coach showed me and put in my program, and it helps maintain your back position as well, because that weight is on both. Your back is at a standstill because you're not pulling the weight up, you're holding it still. It helps build up the posterior chain tremendously. My lower back and everything like that feels strong as anything. Just from doing pause deadlifts, you feel good as well. It's a great exercise. There's plenty of benefits like I've talked about. It helps with sorting out your starting positioning as well. And if you're one of those whose starting position isn't on point like mine was so long, it'll take a while to get used to pause, but the carryover in just you setting up form for standard conventional deadlift is second to none. Great variation. You can do conventional deadlifts like on like a Tuesday and do the pause deadlift on a Friday. See how fatigue and recovery goes. Don't have to do high sets of reps. I didn't on either exercise. The most I've done is 5x5 on both of them, but the weight wasn't really high as well. Make sure you pause for at least 2 seconds. 2 to 3 seconds is probably the most ideal. On some pause I didn't do for long enough. Looking back, I wasn't happy with them. On some I've done really good, so play around with it, but make sure you're pausing for a decent amount of time and just pulling it up 2 to 3 inches off the floor. That's what I've done, is probably about 2 inches. Right, let's get into talking about my hip position. So my hip positioning over the last 16 weeks changed a lot. Some of it was high, some of it was low. This is one thing that is special to everyone. Everyone has a different starting positioning. Everyone has different leverages, different arm lengths, etc. My arms are pretty long for my build, so when I had my hips down low where it looks better, like the back's all straight. And when I was deadlifting, my hips were shooting up, and because of that, my lower back took over a lot. The weight was not evenly just distributed from my legs and my lower back, or hips, whatever you want to say. As the deadlift is leg press, it is a standing leg press. You hear so many people say it's a standing leg press. It is. Make sure your hips and everything like that all move as one. Your hips don't shoot up first or lock out first. So putting my hips higher helped a lot. So I was put in a position where my hips were, I readjusted my sound positioning to where my hips were shooting up initially. So when I play my deadlift from the back or side angle, this is a great way to see what's going wrong with your deadlift. It feels like something's not right. So my lower back was hurting, not hurting, just like taking over. I was quite fatigued. When I recorded my footage from the side and back, showed why my hips are shooting up. So readjust your hips to whatever the height they need to be. Mine are quite high, so they don't look too impressive. So it looks a bit weird, my form. My back's a bit rounded, but I've been doing this for about 9 to 10 weeks with my hips high. Not once, I repeat, not once, and I've had some heavy loads on my deadlift. Not once have I had lower back pain from doing that. So it may not look correct. Some people may say, oh, what about your form, bro? Your back isn't straight, it's rounded, you might hurt yourself. I'll be honest, I may hurt myself in the future, but for the last 10 weeks with the loads I've done, my lower back has felt fine. Everything feels good. Every deadlift session I do, it feels good just because I put my hips higher. It works. Play around with your leverages, like I said, everyone's different, everyone's special. Worked on me, helped me improve my deadlift. So yeah, a lot of things you do is about your sound position, building out as well, making sure you have a good start, making sure the bar straight before you lift it, little things like that. And I want to go back and talk about accessories. So with accessories, let's say I'm doing 180 kilos for a single. How I'd warm up is do 60, 100, 140, 160, like a single 160, and then like my working set, which would be a single at 180. This is what I done yesterday. When I was pulling, use my accessories, so my belt and my chalk. My belt would start getting using at 140, and maybe for a single at 160, I'd start using my belt and my chalk. You don't want to over rely on accessories. They're there for a reason. You don't need to be like warming up with only 60 kilos on the bar, something daft like that. And that goes for all exercises as well. If you're like wearing knee sleeves for warming up and squats, like why? Just when it gets to like a decent load, that's when I start using accessories. So with the tips I've given, more provided, make sure you use pause deadlifts in your program. They work a lot. The carryover is great. I've talked about that. If your grip's struggling, switch it up, and make sure you record your footage from the side or back to see if something's not right. Like I said, with mine, my hips needs to be higher. As soon as I've done that, changed the game completely. My deadlifts exploded. I felt good going into deadlifts. Psychologically and mentally, I was like happy. I wasn't like dreading it, be like, oh, my lower back's gonna hurt or take over. As soon as I saw that out, deadlifts felt fine. My confidence in the deadlifts skyrocketed as well. I went to every deadlift session knowing that I will lift that weight, whatever weight that would be. So yeah, sort out stuff that I've said about hip position, whatever, and then you'll be sound. So thanks for watching this video. I hope you've learned something. I done a series documenting my deadlift, going from 140 kilos to 200, road to 200 kilo deadlift. Watch that series as well. You'll get a better understanding of what I've been speaking about. So yeah, thanks for watching. Catch you in another video. Thank you.